I've always been a homebody. I think that's been true for as long as I can remember. Even when I was younger, before the responsibilities of adulthood fully settled in, there was always a part of me that felt most myself at home. Still, in those years, I went out. I enjoyed parties, gatherings, being around people. I needed that connection then. I think that was part of being young. Finding your peers, feeling understood, learning where you belonged in the world. At that stage of life, being out in the world gave me something I genuinely needed. But even then, home meant something different to me. As a child, home was never a place where I felt truly safe. It wasn't calm, it wasn't predictable. There was always a sense of being on alert, of bracing for something unseen. When you grow up like that, you carry a quiet hunger with you. A hunger for peace, for stillness, for a place where your body doesn't have to stay tense. So I worked for that, without fully realizing I was doing it. Over time, through effort, persistence, and intention, I built a home that feels safe to me. A place where my body relaxes the moment I step inside, where my thoughts slow down, where I don't feel rushed, judged, or watched. I didn't build this home to feel joyful or exciting. I built it so I could finally feel at peace. That distinction matters more than people realize. Some friends and family worry when they notice I don't leave the house for days. They wonder if I'm depressed, lonely, or quietly struggling. They speculate. They ask questions out of concern. But that concern comes from misunderstanding. I'm not unhappy. I'm not mentally troubled. I'm not withdrawing from life. I'm regulated. Just like some people gain energy from being around others, I'm the opposite. Social interaction costs me energy. Even when I enjoy it, and I do enjoy time with family and friends, it still draws from a limited reserve. My energy is finite now, so I'm mindful about how I spend it. I choose connection carefully, not because I don't care, but because I do. After 70, this awareness sharpens. The world outside no longer pulls the way it once did. The noise feels louder. The pace feels relentless. Conversations feel rushed. Even simple errands can feel overwhelming in ways they never used to. This isn't because you've become weaker. It's because your sensitivity has deepened. You feel more clearly what your body and mind need. Life begins to ask different questions now. Not how much can you do, but how deeply can you live? Not how full is your schedule, but how calm do you feel when the day ends? Staying home becomes less about avoidance and more about choice. There's an important difference between hiding from the world and setting boundaries with it. Staying home after 70 isn't about fear. It's about discernment. At this stage of life, you've already learned what the world can offer and what it can take. You've seen how constant stimulation wears the body down, how too much noise clouds the mind, how too many obligations quietly erode peace. Home becomes a boundary that protects what's essential. Inside it, you get to decide the pace. You decide when to speak and when to be silent, when to engage and when to rest. This sense of control is deeply restoring. It reminds you that even now you are still the author of your days. That matters more than people realize. Out in the world, the body stays subtly on edge. Traffic demands focus. Crowds demand awareness. Noise demands attention. Even pleasant interactions require effort. At home, something entirely different happens. Your shoulders drop without you noticing. Your breathing becomes slower and deeper. Your body recognizes safety. The chair fits the way it always has. The light enters the room in familiar patterns. You know where everything is. These details may seem small, but after 70, they are profound. Familiarity soothes the nervous system. Routine reassures the body. Calm environments tell your system that it doesn't need to stay alert anymore. And when the body feels safe, it can finally rest. Energy changes with age. When you were younger, energy felt renewable. You could give it away freely and trust it would come back. Now, energy feels precious. Not fragile, valuable. Every outing, every conversation, every commitment carries a cost. Some experiences nourish you, others quietly drain you long after they're over. Staying home allows you to protect what you have left. It lets you direct your energy toward rest, reflection, and meaning instead of depletion. This isn't selfish, it's intelligent. It's a way of honoring the decades you've already given to work, family, responsibility, and survival. Stillness is often misunderstood. Sitting quietly with a cup of tea, watching the light shift across the room, letting the day unfold without urgency. From the outside, this looks like doing nothing, but inside, the body is repairing itself. Breathing deepens. Muscles release tension they've carried for years. The mind slows enough to listen. This isn't idleness. This is healing. There's also a difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is emptiness, feeling unseen or disconnected. Solitude is fullness. It's being comfortable in your own presence. Later in life, solitude becomes especially meaningful. It creates space for reflection, memory, and emotional honesty. At home, emotions surface gently, not to overwhelm you, but to be acknowledged. Grief, gratitude, regret, even quiet joy, feelings that were postponed because there was no time before. This is part of becoming whole. Many people, after 70, carry quiet guilt. Guilt for resting, for saying no, for choosing peace over busyness. Society praises activity and mistrusts stillness. But guilt has no purpose at this stage of life. You've already contributed. You've already shown up. You no longer need to justify your worth through movement. Your value isn't measured by how much you do. It's measured by how steady your heart feels. Routine becomes a kind of freedom. Waking when your body is ready, preparing food the way you like it, sitting in the same place each morning. These rituals create stability in a world that feels increasingly unpredictable. Sleep improves, appetite balances, movement becomes gentler and more intuitive. You stop forcing yourself to match the world's pace and start listening to your own. Staying home after 70 isn't giving up on life. It's refining it, choosing depth over noise, presence over pressure. You're not shrinking your world, you're shaping it to fit who you are now. And when you look back, what will matter most isn't how busy you were, but how you felt. Whether you felt rushed or at peace, pressured or content, safe in your own life. So if staying home feels right to you, trust that feeling. If simplicity brings peace, allow it. If solitude nourishes you, embrace it without apology. You are not missing out on life. You are finally living it in alignment with who you are. Thank you for spending this quiet moment with me. Truly, time and attention are precious, and I'm grateful you chose to share yours here. If any part of this felt familiar, I hope it reminded you that you're not alone, and that your way of living is valid, thoughtful, and deeply earned. Sit where you're comfortable. Let the day unfold at its own pace. Be kind to yourself. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to do everything. You only need to be present with the life you have. Right here, right now. And that is enough.